is my gift. A clue what you have been looking for has been right in front of you, all along. You just have to look beyond your obsession.
The fog of the abyss has become so thick that the observer has become the observed. Has Jigsaw really come for him to put his inquisitive obsession to a lethal test? Or is this the entity in disguise pestering him after a heavy night of whiskey? Perhaps it's time for a new Tower Watchman. Anything is possible because the Obscura journal entry tells us that there have been up to 9 previous observers. Let's take a deeper look at Jigsaw and the Observer in this episode of Tales from the Original Ones. Tome 10 has brought a lot with it to the fog of Dead by Daylight. Nothing has been more interesting to me than the video featuring Jigsaw confronting the Observer. The first thought I had was wondering if that was really Tobin Bell voicing Jigsaw. The comment section of the YouTube video was full of speculation as it should be, so I had to look elsewhere. I found several articles that concluded it's Tobin Bell's voice, but not really confirming if these were new voice lines recorded specifically for the video. Here's a snippet from the IGN article. Behavior Interactive and Lionsgate Films have announced Archive's Tome 10 saw the latest content addition to Dead by Daylight that sees notoriously sadistic horror movie villain Jigsaw, voiced by Jigsaw movie actor Tobin Bell, make a foreboding appearance in the trailer above. So does the word usage of appearance mean voice line content created specifically for DBD? I found an abundance of speculation on Dead by Daylight forums and YouTube comments that suggested it was audio already existing from previous films that were spliced together. Considering Behavior has a partnership with the Saw franchise and revenue exceeding $100 million per year, it seems unlikely they would have to do that, but I guess it's possible. I honestly have no clue. I was not able to cross-check every single movie script, but I was able to search through the wording of all the Jigsaw instruction tapes on the Saw movie wiki. Other than I want to play a game, the audio we hear in the DBD video is unique. Again, I'm not sure if they spliced other movie dialogue together, but it's not from a previous Jigsaw test. If you have a more informative answer, please let us know in the comments below. Let's get back to the Observer video. In the start, we have our obligatory vibe featuring the Arcus tool and the organized library of studies. There is a wide camera pan of several characters on the wall, but then it focuses on a young Max Thompson Jr. Before you can feel too much sorrow for the child hillbilly, the Arcus tool ignites and the Observer leaps into another realm. His demeanor is calm and collected at first as he stands in the same place that we see Amanda Young wake up in her cutscene. Perhaps he has already seen her memory and feels familiar with this location. Out of nowhere, the memory swiftly fades into a wall of fog lingering in the air. The Observer is caught off guard. He looks confused. A sudden emotion of surprise and fear cling to his face as Billy's tricycle enters the scene. Let's take a listen and a deeper look.
Stories and memories are like pieces of a puzzle. Your obsession with other lives has undermined your own existence.
Yes, obsession. This opening assessment of the Observer really summarizes his entire existence as a character in Dead by Daylight. I should mention here that if you are not familiar with who the Observer is in DBD, I have a very detailed video breaking him down in the card above. Here's some basic information. The Observer was infatuated with study and examination to a fault. Early tome readings in the Arcus tell us that he and others knew of the entity and studied it in great detail in their original worlds. The time frame is lost, but he makes reference to his previous life being trapped by the entity. The version we know of him now is the man giving us information in the form of memories about the killers and survivors who are also trapped within the fog. This knowledge is gained by his use of the tool called the Arcus, which allows him to search the past of the characters that have become imprisoned by the entity. His writings give very detailed and emotional information about the characters as he leaps and experiences their memories. Jigsaw, as per usual, is quite correct about it undermining his life. Let's continue.
Your life descends into madness as you desperately search for the missing piece, the piece that will reveal a way out.
It is no secret that the Observer feels like a prisoner and seeks a way to escape, as it is mentioned in his journal many times. In Arcus 7456, he writes, "These records, these archives will, I imagine, help me remember myself should the Arcus nudge me into the abyss." Perhaps Jigsaw's materialization is a form of this nudge. As of right now, we have more to learn in the tome about Amanda's backstory, but it's possible that her time spent with John Kramer has made a deep impression in the Observer's subconscious while experiencing her memories. There are several excerpts in the Observer's journal that talk of madness, but this paraphrased quote from Tome 2, Arcus 328 is interesting. There is a curiosity at the core of every thinking person, but what is discovered in those blank spaces of the abyss, of the cosmos, are things far too immense to understand, things better left unobserved lest they undermine our sanity. Okay, that's fascinating, but is any of this even real? Continuing on.
Here is my gift. A clue. What you have been looking for has been right in front of you, all along. You just have to look beyond your obsession.
While the Arcus has been his devoted tool to transport him to experience the memories of the survivors and killers, it is the longtime study of the entity that has been his extreme obsession. What was once an interest has turned into a desire to destroy it. His passion in the conquest is noted in Arcus 223. If I could end the entity, I would, even if it meant my own demise. My life is little to pay for the salvation of the worlds it will destroy. So what does all this mean so far? I am wondering if the Observer will legitimately be given a famous saw trap test and that Jigsaw will somehow kill him. We can't completely entertain that idea, as Jigsaw does not kill his victims. His tests are to see if someone has the will to live and what limits they are willing to go to based around some variant of a life lesson. So let's go one further. This is extreme, but what if Jigsaw was somehow so powerful that he was simultaneously giving both the Observer and the entity a test? Similar to the films, for one character to thrive, the other must perish. It's unlikely, but it's fun to think about.
Will you continue to lose yourself in other lives? Or will you take a moment to see, to really see? Your mind can be your sanctuary or your prison.
Everything we know about the Observer stands true in what Jigsaw just said. The Observer's backstory and writings in Dead by Daylight revolve around his past life consumed by study of the cosmic entities or his observations of other characters' memories. He has relief moments of whiskey and golf, but truly he is held prisoner in his tower and library. The paramount climax of this segment is the spidery legs of the entity breaking through the back of Billy the Puppet. They slowly take shape, adding to the ominous deliverance from Jigsaw. Is this the entity, Jigsaw, or a mix of both? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Alright, let's hear the final message.
The choice is, and always has been, yours to make.
The quick takeaway from this is that he simply chooses to stop being the Observer. Perhaps if his obsession with the others ceases, he might wake from this arc fog nightmare. That seems a little bit too easy, as Jigsaw has conditioned viewers to expect a grand amount of horrific hoops one has to jump through. However, we also know the ending in the first movie with Kramer being in proximity, playing dead the entire time, is a twist that makes Saw movies feel like, well, Saw movies. Is there something similar here with the entity and the Observer? So what is the end game here for the Observer? I think it would be interesting and fit the message if he stepped out of the shadows of watching and ventured directly into the fog. What if the Observer's test was to become a survivor and endure the pain he was obsessed with watching from afar? Or perhaps something similar, resulting in him becoming one of the killers. It is very on brand with the entity to lure him in further and finally cement his entire soul trapped within the fog, competing in the endless bloody match of hide and go seek. Personally, my favorite character in Dead by Daylight is the Observer, and I would find it fascinating if he became a playable character. Tell me your thoughts and theories about all of this in the comments below. Please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. My name is DrumRollTony and I stream Dead by Daylight on Twitch. Catch me there for some live games. Alright, thank you for watching.